Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to the last Shabbat of 2022. Soon will, I never know what, I can't say Happy New Year, I say Happy Goyish New Year. It's like, we have our own New Year, it's okay. But happy 2023. We had 52 Shabbats here together. Many of you have been to most of them. Even I haven't been to all of them. What did we have? We had a Crooner Shabbat and Broadway Shabbat and Pet Shabbat and Beat Shabbat and Havdalah Shabbat. And a few Shabbats with no one here, just in front of people at home because it was still Omicron or... And most important is that when I think back of this year, I realize how much of my being is this inner calendar, this inner time clock that goes from Shabbat to Shabbat, that actually does what we're supposed to do in Hebrew, because in Hebrew the names of the week are day 1, Yom Rishon, day 2, day 3. They don't have weird names like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But every time you say, what day is it today? It's day 3. Only 3 more days for Shabbat. It's day 4. 2 more days. And we've entered together with you into this amazing rhythm, waiting to be here from Shabbat to Shabbat, measuring our year in weeks, which is, by the way, maybe the biggest contribution the Jewish people ever gave to the world. A day is a natural time unit, sunrise, sunset. A month is a natural time unit. The moon fills up the moon. A year is a natural time unit, but a week is a Jewish invention. It's a Jewish invention. We have a story about God creating the world in 6 days and resting. All the world, even people who have never met a Jewish person in their life, they say, I'll see you next week. They're talking Jewish. It is Jewish. And so as we say goodbye to 2022, I hope that in 2023 you will make a resolution to yourself to hear these words as close as possible to 52 times in Temple. And the words are very familiar to you. They fill your heart with joy, and they go like this. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. For those of you who are wondering, this is not Abby. Yes, Abby's on vacation. It is this time of year when we take vacations. I just came back from Israel. I was actually mostly in Egypt, not in Israel. I'll tell you all about it. This is Kayleen Cole, our Sheni, what we call our second Chazanite, our cantorial soloist who's here with us. We're so happy that you are. Iran, Shana Tova to you as well. We are on page 10 with Yedid Nefesh. It's in the middle of the page. Yeah. La 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 This is in our tradition known as the biggest oi of the year. We're going to ask you in a moment to take a deep breath, maybe two, and exhale not just the oi of this week, but the oi of this year. Wow, yeah, so you need a deep breath. Ready? Take a deep breath. Yeah. I'm not sure that 2022 will be remembered as the best, but you know what? As Jews, what we do is we always find the good, even in the tsuris. We always find the positive angle. We say, hey, despite everything that happened, both on a personal level and a national level, on a global world, look, we're here. And in a quick scan, most of you are smiling. Sai, smile. That's good. So we're here, we're good. We get through our tsuris, we get through the challenges. And how do we get through the challenges? Is because we remind ourselves. It's like our mind constantly drifts to what is bad, but we force it to focus on what is good. And there's a lot of good in this world. We have a big birthday. Are we sharing numbers? Yeah? 75 Lee. Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. That is very, very impressive. When you were 14, this couple got married because Sai and Sarah are celebrating 61 years of marriage last week. Wait. 60, look, he's 61 years, 6 days, and 2 hours. That is the most romantic gesture that happened. And this is good because, look, this young couple who's getting married next week are very much inspired. This is what we want. We want to see you. We won't be here. But you guys, we want to see you here in 61 years, 14 days, and 2 hours, sitting here and describing your 64th anniversary. This is Jeffrey and Anna Lee are getting married next week. Paul and Sharma, we're so happy for you, for the entire family. And we're so happy. Of course, Nina. And Mazel Tov. We're going to bring you up in a moment. Bless you. If I said 61, I'm sorry. You thought you were at the top. We have 71 here today. Lois and Steve, stand up, stand up. We don't get to see a lot of 71 years. 71 years. What? Well, you need to stick in it for at least 3 more years, and then I'll make you stand up, pal. We're good. We're very happy for you. Mazel Tov. Do we have more simchas? Please share with us more simchas. Simchas once. Simchas twice. Yes. Molly turns 30 next week. Molly, Mazel Tov. And we're so excited. Your bat mitzvah is coming soon. Very nice. More simchas. The entire Prince clan is here in the back seat. We haven't seen you guys together like this in a while. It's so good to see you. Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. Yes. Are we celebrating a big Mrs. Sterling? 7? Really? Can we share? Mazel Tov. You were born 1 year after they got married. That's very nice. More simchas to share. We have new members. Yeah, she said she wanted to stay under the radar. Wendy and Justin, say hello. Yay, new members. We have visitors. Nelson and Carolyn are here, right? We're happy that. Yeah, we have a few other new members here. They're so new that I didn't even get the paperwork yet. I don't even. Yeah. Yes. Meretskis. The Meretskis are here. Very good. My friends, there's a lot of simchas, and let's enter into this new year with the promise to ourselves that we will cling and hold on to these simcha moments and we'll let the simcha define the year. Not the tzuras, not the ois, but let's make a promise to ourselves that the joys are the things that will define this year. So let's make another promise to never just take credit for all these great achievements. Yes, 61 years, a lot of hard work, but we believe that God brought you together. We believe that God brought you together. We believe that God brought you together. We believe that a lot of the good things that happen to us don't just happen to us because, but for a reason. And so we want to ask you, if you can, stand either physically or in spirit to say thank you, Adonai. Thank you for entrusting life in us. Thank you for sustaining us, for keeping us healthy, for making this day, this year possible. Let's say the Shehechianu together. Baruch. Try hugging someone next to you. It's much better. Melech haolam. Shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Standing, make an effort to take a step maybe to the right or left, turn around in front of you. Someone you don't know, introduce yourself to them. I spotted Susanna Simon in the crowd. I haven't seen her in years. She's a graduate of Temple Judea. She's visiting us, and she has the most amazing voice. Thank you. And so it's so happy to have you here. Yay. Lee, Rhonda, Jillian, please light the candles for us. You have brought so much light, so much energy. We're going to do Ismichu today, especially for you. Since you have joined our temple, you have really energized it in such a way, and we are so happy that you are here today co-sponsoring our Oneg in honor of your 75th birthday. And now you're one of the few families that we have here that are 3-generational, right? So the little ones stayed home today. It's okay, it's too late. But we have 2 generations here. May you continue to share your light and your love with us as we move forward. Let's say the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat. Mazel tov to you. Please have a seat. And I am happy to now call Jeffrey and Annalie, Paul and Sharma to join us, and Nina to join us on the bima for the Kiddush. As I mentioned to you before, Jeffrey and Annalie are getting married this week, and we are so blessed to have them here with us today. You're going to stand here with us together. In a moment, we're going to offer you a big blessing. But first, together, we will bless the Sabbath day. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תפילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאה מצרים כי קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש Go ahead, have a sip of, and may the sweetness of this wine represent the sweetness of this upcoming marriage. You need to share. Rule number one in marriage. I mean, maybe not the best guy to take advice from, but I think sharing is important. Very good. We're going to ask Paul and Sharma, thank you for being co-sponsor of our Onik today. We're going to ask you to have a seat. We're actually going to bring you guys close over here to the bima. Come together, stand together like this. We're going to ask everyone to please rise as I open the ark, and I want to offer Annalie and Jeffrey a special blessing here. And these are words that our rabbis, our priests have been saying to the people of Israel for many, many thousands of years. And it's a tradition that parents say it to their kids every Friday night. So God willing, when it's the right time, you too will be able to share these words with your family. And the words are as following. Yevachechem Adonai ve'ishmerchem. May God bless you and protect you. Ya'er Adonai panav elechem ve'yichunchem. May God shine God's countenance upon you and be gracious to you. Ya'er Adonai panav elechem ve'yasem lachem shalom. May God always be present in your life, in this sacred union that we're about to create. And may God always bless you with peace. Peace in your hearts, peace with each other, peace that you can share with the world. And the entire congregation says 3 times these words, Ken yehi ratzon, which means may it be so. We affirm this blessing, and so we say, Ken yehi ratzon, Ken yehi ratzon. One last time, Ken yehi ratzon. You may kiss your fiancé. It's okay. We allow that. Thank you. Have a seat and Mazel Tov. Mazel tov to both of you. We are on page 12. We are engaging in this song, in the joy of Shabbat, through music and through song. Lechuna Ranena means come, let's together sing out loud, express our joy through music. So as you know, I was in Israel exactly a week ago Friday. Seriously, there could have not been a different setting of where I'm standing here all dressed and clean and in the temple, and where I was last Friday wearing the same clothes that I wore for 4 days after hiking in the desert around a little fire on the ground, surrounded by nothing but desert and mountains and stars, and my children and friends we were hiking in the east of Sinai, a 4-day hike. And it was interesting because earlier today, Morley and I talked about the voice of God, because about where do you find God? And actually, it's in the sound of silence. You have to be somewhere out in such a wilderness like Sinai, where it's not just, so Morley asked me, why don't we sit in quiet here? And we can't get to that sense of silence. Somebody's going to move, somebody's going to make a noise, something's going to, but when you're out there in the desert, when you see no one, not a sign of life, not an electricity pole, not a road, nothing for a few days, the silence is so dense, it's so heavy. That's maybe where you find God. And then you find it exactly in the opposite, because we always have this yin and yang, right? This white and black, this moving from silence to when you sing, when you open your heart, when you feel the air coming out of your lungs and that sound comes out, that's also where God is found. And that's why our Psalms on Friday night, we can't sit in silence. I don't think we would have a full house here if we would be just sitting in silence. But we can find God through song and through music. So I want to encourage you, even if you think you don't have a good voice, it doesn't matter. God doesn't care. She's very flexible. Try. Some of you sing every week, but if you never sing, just try. If you don't know the words, just do la 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 or na 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 na. But just allow yourself to find that voice in God. If you can't be at Sinai, then at least here, allow yourself to find that voice through music. We're on top of page 13. It's a commandment. Shiru Ladonai. Sing out loud so that you can hear that voice of God. Shiru Ladonai Kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Shir chadash. Shiru Ladonai Kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Shir chadash.
Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God.
Shiru Ladonai Kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Shir chadash. We are on the bottom of page 14, reminding ourselves that even and as we are in these weeks now around the solstice, right there, the darkest days of the year, that we have the power to bring light through our righteous deeds. And so these words, Or Zaru Ala Tzadik, that remind us, let's go out of here tonight. Remember the motto of Temple Judea, joyous Judaism that inspires action. Let's promise ourselves to be that light that shows the way, that lights the darkness that is around us. O Zarua.
Or Zarua
Latzadik Ulishrelet Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Ulishrelet Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Ulishrelet Simcha. Ulishrelet Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Ulishrelet Simcha. Ulishrelet Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Ulishrelet Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Ulishrelet Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Ulishrelet Simcha. Ulishrelet Simcha. Or Zarua Latzadik Ulishrelet Simcha. Ulishrelet Simcha. We are ready to welcome Shabbat, and as you might know, Jeffrey and Ali, Shabbat is described by our mystics as a bride. And the groom, if you might ask, is the people of Israel. And every Shabbat, we say, I do. And every Shabbat, we haven't gotten to that in our pre-marriage counseling yet, but we'll get there. Shabbat, think about this for a moment like this. Shabbat dinner is really the most romantic thing that a couple can do, right? There's a white tablecloth. It doesn't matter if you're eating Chinese food or pizza or brisket, but it's on a white tablecloth. It's a candlelight dinner. There's wine. The husband is supposed to sing a song of love, Eshet Chayil, to his wife, right? You turn off phones and television. You're totally into each other, right? And Friday is known also as a day of mitzvahs. So, for those who understood. For those who not, come see me at the Oneg after. I'll explain. But Shabbat is this romantic idea where we take a moment to let go of all the nonsense of the world and concentrate on love and what matters most. So we're going to, in a moment, stand up, not yet, everyone, and welcome Shabbat, like we're going to welcome the bride that walks into the procession. And I want you to be with us at the doors. And to your sides, I want the Donners and the Lowovers to be with us so you can be inspired by 132 years of marriage next to you. So please join me at the doors. Is there anybody else that celebrated an anniversary? Oh, the Levies, 65, right in the middle. Come, please join us. Rita, Bernie, please. La 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 lecha dodi, ya la la ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la la b'nei Shabbat. Now stay seated. B'nei Shabbat nekavel, ya la la lecha dodi. בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד שמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. Let's hear you. יא לה לה יא לה 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 לך אדוני יא לה לה יא לה לה לקראת כלה יא לה 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 בני שבת בני שבת. Shabbat is coming. Let's all rise. Let's open the doors. בואי בשלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה וצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה Shabbat. Please remain standing. We are on page 28, acknowledging and praising God. You can come back to your seats, but remain standing. Page 28. have a seat. So in Sinai, we had a Bedouin guide called Salim. He's amazing. Speaks fluent Hebrew. He was born in Sinai, which was Israel, during the time that Israel was controlling Sinai from 1967 to 1982. It's very funny because he was born in Israel, but he's never been to Israel. In that aspect, he's never been to what is Israel today. He cannot cross the border. And Salim immediately fell in love with Daniel, who is celebrating 18 today. And he immediately offered me a nice amount of camels and sheep and goats for her. I said, I'll think about it. Depends on how she behaves on the trip. But it was very nice because Danielle, she's not watching, so it's 1 a.m. in the morning in Israel. So, she doesn't love hiking too much. So she was complaining a little bit at the beginning. And she said, why can't we go to a 5-star hotel? and Salim heard it, and he turned and says, Ya Aristi, my beloved, he says, I'm taking you to a 1,000,000-star hotel. And it was true because it was the beginning of the month, there was no moon, and it was just unbelievable to be able to lay there on the ground and look at all those stars. And I wished, I said to my kids, I hope that when you're my age that you could both enjoy 5-star hotels and 1,000,000-star hotels in the same way I do. And so may we, and this kind of connects to this prayer, because this prayer tells us to enjoy both the darkness and the light, both the day and the night. We can't just live in the day, we can't just live in the night. We have to be able to find the good in everything. And so when you're in the desert, on the floor, with no running water and, everything that comes with that, enjoy it. And when you're in a 5-star hotel, enjoy it. It's all good. And so we say, Uma'avir yom u'mevi layla, Uma'avdil ben yom u'ben layla, Adonai tzebaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, Tamid imloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, Ha'ma'ari v'aravim. And when I was in Sinai, I was reminded in one of the most beautiful teachings of the rabbis who asked, why was Torah given in the desert? Why was Torah? I mean, think about it. God could have been given at the Ritz-Carlton. It could have been, they didn't have the Ritz at that, but it could have been given in a nice place with a waterfall or maybe a nice hill with cedar trees. Something, there's better places than the desert, but really, one of the boyfriends of my girls that was hiking with us, it was the first time that he had a serious hike in the desert. He never hiked in the desert in this way. And he expressed, and it was so nice to hear from her, how when you hike in the desert like this, your entire perspective changes. There's such an openness. It's so full, but it's also void, that your heart is open to everything. Your mind is open to everything. And the rabbis actually, and I taught him that midrash there. I have to be a rabbi even with the girls' boyfriends. What can I do? But I was sharing with them this midrash that the rabbis say the Torah was given in the desert because the desert allows you to be open, to just accept any idea, to open your heart. And that's why before we say the Shema, there's always a blessing about love. The desert allows you to really open your heart to look at every human being and everything in such a loving way. And Torah is love, and that is what we think of as we prepare to say the Shema. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. If it's your custom to stand, then you're welcome to stand. If it's your custom to sit, remain seating. This is that love that we offer each other and how we express ourselves as we say together. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod page 36, ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בהם, ושבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובישמך. And in English in first person, thus I shall remember to observe all your commandments and to be holy to my God. You are Adonai my God, who brought me out of the land of Egypt to be my God. You are Adonai my God. A lot of rabbis, and we have like our Facebook pages and our Rav Kav discussions. Should we acknowledge that it's the New Year? But it's not really the New Year, but it is the New Year. We live in America. We're also Americans. We Jews are accustomed to having a lot of New Years. There's actually 4 New Years. We have a New Year for the kings, and a New Year for the year, and a New Year for the trees. There's Tu B'Shvat. There's a lot of different years. There's an academic New Year, and there's a fiscal New Year. So what's wrong with celebrating another New Year? We'll call it the Gregorian New Year. It's all good. So we want to, but I think that being Jewish in America, and I always like to ask you if you consider yourself as an American Jew or Jewish American. That makes it's a very heavy question. We could talk about it afterwards in the Kiddush, but I think that the secret is learning how to mesh the two together. And that's why I love this prayer, Mi Kamocha, because we take the liberty to always do Mi Kamocha to a different tune that the rabbis would have never imagined that you sing it to. And how do you bring together your sense of being Jewish and overcoming as Mi Kamocha together with a celebration of the time now? And so we're doing this today, of course, singing Mi Kamocha to Auld Lang Syne, which I discovered was in Scottish, and it means the good old days. And so we look back at this year, and we say, wow, another year have passed, more memories that we accumulated, more good friends. We're a bit older, we're a bit wiser, and we're anticipating and welcoming a new year that will come with its challenges, but because we sing Mi Kamocha, we know that we will overcome any challenge. Mi Kamocha. כי ברא את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. There's something beautiful about hiking in the desert. It gets dark at 5:30, so you eat around 6 and you sit around the fire and you drink another cup of coffee and another cup of tea, and you look at your watch and it's 8 o'clock and it's time to go to sleep. And you say, well, I've never gone to sleep at 8 o'clock, and we're so used to staying up late and doing things. But you remember that you're going to wake up with the sunrise at 5:30, and so it's okay to go to sleep at 8 o'clock. And it's amazing how fast your body sinks to nature when you're out in the desert, and what a difference it makes when you're part of that beat of Mother Earth. I know it sounds very, but it's true. You just kind of become part of the environment that you're in. We in this world, we surround ourselves with so many walls and lights and blue lights and electricity and electronics that we sometimes forget. And it's so much easier to just tune in, put that plug into the rhythm of the earth and be part of it, and you sleep so good. And so here's our lullaby, asking God to help us connect to that rhythm of the world around us, to help us sleep well, to sleep with the sense that the sun will rise and we will wake up with it. Hashkivenu, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom, Leshalom.
Leo celebrating his 75th birthday, and Rhonda joined the temple, and they changed our worship a little bit, because the synagogue they used to come to from did on Shabbat, you can choose whether to do the Veshamru or Ismechu. And Rhonda, when she first met me, said, I love Ismechu, I miss Ismechu. And I promised Rhonda every time Rhonda's here, we're going to do Ismechu. If you open on page 44, you can see there's the Veshamru on the top, Ismechu on the bottom. If you have a favorite melody, if you have a favorite prayer that you miss from your childhood, from another temple that you just heard somewhere, talk to us. I promise to incorporate it. We can do that. Okay? Here we go. Bottom of page 44. Ismechu, Ismechu b'malchutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat Rekorei, Onei Shabbat. Ismechu b'malchutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat Rekorei, Onei Shabbat. Mekadshei Shevi Shabbat, Kulam Yisrael, With this sense of joy, we're about to move into our tefillah, our amidah. We remind ourselves what it is that we stand up for. In this week's Torah portion, the plan of Joseph, where he predicted 7 good years that will be followed by 7 bad years of hunger, actually comes to fruition. And what very few people know, because we don't really teach it in Hebrew school, is that it's not such a complimenting story. But you would think that in the 7 good years, we filled our barns with so much food that we will just distribute it to the hungry people in the 7 bad years of hunger. That's not what Joseph did. Joseph kept, right, as the prince of Egypt, kept the food in the barns. And when the hunger started, he sold it to Egyptians. First, they paid with all the money that they had. And then when they didn't have money anymore, they paid with their property. And they sold all their houses and their land to Joseph. And then they became his slaves. This idea of slavery that we blame the Egyptians of ruling over us really started in the opposite way. Maybe because we treated them in such injustice at that time when they were hungry, rather than opening our hearts and barns and actually exploited that need. Maybe that's one of the reasons why the wheel turned around. They were able to enslave us. And so as we stand today, let's think about how we distribute. You know, there shouldn't be hunger in the world. We produce enough food. The amount of food that is thrown away every day in the United States alone is enough to feed every hungry person in the world. Our problem is more the distribution. It's how much money we lose by trying to take that food. And so let's, as we stand today, think of once again how lucky we are to be in this community, that very few of us suffer hunger, if at all, and many of us have more than we can ever use. And just to think about how is it that we distribute in a fair and equal way what we have with those who don't. Please rise if you can, page 46. Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. Take a few moments for silent prayer. You can follow our Siddur from page 48 to page 62 on the right side or on the left side. Or you can just do what I do. I just close the Siddur together, take a few deep breaths, and just stand in silence listening to my heart and my soul. Who guide me in their own prayer. Where might I go to find you, exalted, hidden one? Yet where would I not go to find you, ever-present, eternal one? My heart cries out to you, please draw near to me. The moment I reach out for you, I find in you, reaching in for me. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Oh, say shalom limroma. Oh, say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru, amen. Let's rise again if you can. And we are going to open our healing talit. Here, Alan, you can take this. Oh, wait. No, this is you. Yeah, this is you, and this is you. Yeah. So there's plenty of space. I know it looks like it's small, but if you are struggling with any kind of struggle, any challenge, please come to the center of our healing talit. There's plenty of place here. If you see somebody wanting to make their way, help them come under our healing talit. If you're not under our healing talit and you feel comfortable, just put your hand on the shoulder of someone in front of you. This is that sacred magic moment at Temple Judea that we create community, that people that maybe only met a few minutes ago remind themselves that we are all created in the image of God, that we all have a spark of God within us, and that spark means that we have the ability to be a source of strength, a source of peace, a source of comfort, even to the stranger standing by my side, because I might not know the person that has their hand on my shoulder or my hand is on there, but there's something you know about that person. They're struggling. They're worried about someone in their life that is facing medical issues, financial hardships, dysfunction in families, relationships broken. That person might be themselves or someone they love. None of us here, none of us are immune from pain. But all of us are capable of extending a hand and being part of that healing process of supporting each other. So please think of that person in your life that needs healing. We don't know how, but we know that when we pray for somebody's healing, science has proven they heal faster, just knowing that you're praying for them. It could be yourself as well. If you wish, whisper or say their name out loud. Let's pray together. those in need of healing with refuah shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors, as we said on Rosh Hashanah, Tichle Shana v'klilotea, Tachel Shana v'birkotea. May this year and its curses, its challenges end, and may this new year coming upon us, 2023, bring with it nothing but blessings, good health, joy, love, and peace, to which we say, Amen. The person next to you might need a hug. Look them in the eyes. If they indicate they need a hug, give them a hug. Hey, Gail. I want to give a hug to this lady. Here's another hug. I know she did. Oh. Please have a seat. Thank you. Thank you. So you fly to Israel, there's something, hold on one second. There we go. You fly to Israel and you land, and it's right around Christmas time and Hanukkah time, and so the captain says, as you land, says, welcome to Israel. All those of you who are here to celebrate Christmas, please remain seated in your chairs. Your seatbelts fasten until the plane comes to a total stop. All those of you here celebrating Hanukkah and standing in the aisles, please hold on to something so you don't fall. So that's kind of, the pilot really knows his crowd. It's very Israelis. The moment they're in it, they open the seatbelt, they get up, and the tourists, the polite tourists, sit down with so the pilot knows exactly who's on his plane, which kind of brings to mind this idea of what's happening in this week's Torah portion. It's one of the most dramatic Torah portions, Vayigash. Previously in the Torah, if you haven't been following, there's the hunger in the land of Canaan, and the brothers of Joseph come down to Egypt in order to seek some food, and they come up to the prince of Egypt, not knowing that this is their brother, who then sends them back, and there's a whole deal over there. Anyways, they come back to bring their brother. They come back, and basically he now says, I'm going to send you back, but I'm keeping your young brother over here. And at that point, the brothers are, no, you can't do that. You are going to kill our father. And he says, why? Because our father lost a child. They're talking about Joseph. And we can't allow you to do this against our father. And at this moment, Joseph breaks down. And after this really long, torturous encounter with his brother, he breaks down and says, I'm your brother, Joseph. And they are in shock, and then they fall on each other's neck, and they cry, and they heal. And I always walked around with this question, why did what caused Joseph to break at that moment? For all this time, because the rabbis, they ask different questions. When Joseph reveals himself to his brothers, the first thing that he asks is, Od avi chai, is my father still alive? And the rabbis say, wait a moment. If Joseph was so worried about his father being alive and the well-being, Joseph had the opportunity to send a message, to send a secret, envoy, something to let his father know in an anonymous way, don't worry, Joseph is still alive. And the question is, why didn't he do it? Why did he not tell his father all these years, over 20 years in Egypt, that he's alive, knowing that his father is suffering? The rabbis say it's a huge violation of the commandment to honor your father. How could you know that your father is in Canaan thinking that you're dead and you're not saying a word? Well, the answer actually, there's a lot of different answers. The one that I like the most is the fact that if Joseph would have told his father that he is alive, his father would ask the brothers, How could it be that Joseph is alive? You came back, remember, when the brothers threw Joseph into the well, they told the father that Joseph is there. The father would ask what happened, and eventually he would interrogate them in such a way that they would have to confess to what they did. And once they confessed to what they did, Jacob would have no chance but to excommunicate them, to say to them, you're not my children anymore, leave, what have you done? And the entire family would be ruined. Joseph holds back for over 20 years because he knows that telling his father what he wants to hear so badly will actually destroy the family. And only at the point where the brothers, Judah, takes responsibility and says, no, we cannot leave our younger brother because we will kill our father, Joseph realizes that they have such a bond, they have such a relationship that nothing can break that relationship. If they're willing to sacrifice, unlike what they did some 20-some years backwards, where they were willing to throw him into the pit, right, and play him for dead. Now they're willing to sacrifice themselves. Judah's willing to do that. He realizes that the family is strong enough to even stand up to this idea, because Jacob might ask, how is it? But now it's going to be okay. And it's pretty amazing. I think all of us carry with us sometimes this idea that there's something we want to do, that we really want to do, but if we do it, and it might be the right thing to do, we might hurt somebody else. By doing the right thing sometimes, we might be hurting somebody else. And there's a truth that I want to tell someone. There's something that I must do, but what's the benefit of doing it other than kind of me feeling good about saying it or helping somebody feel good when the disastrous accounts of this coming forward are not substantial enough to justify this action. And it says in the Torah, it describes Joseph's feelings almost as a dam that is blocking his feelings, and at that moment that dam is open. The waters of his emotions are able to, and I want to hope for all of us that we never have to be in that situation of Joseph, that we could be true to ourselves and true to others without causing any damage by being truthful. And Joseph has to hold back all this time until he can come forward, and that's not a great place to be. And it's not a great place to also be when we are in a relationship, in any kind of relationship. And so I really hope that we can learn from this Torah portion to never have to hide our true selves, that we can get to a situation where we can speak truth, but make sure that that truth doesn't hurt anyone. And so I'd like to invite Kayleen to close this with a beautiful song by Debbie Friedman, and Don't Hide Your Face from Me. And in this hope that we hear it, this song is talking about God and asking God to never hide God's face from us. But I'd like to think about it as also a prayer for self, that we never have to hide our true selves from anyone around us. Shabbat Shalom.
Don't hide your face from me. I'm asking for your help. I call to you, please hear my prayers, oh God. If you would answer me as I have called to you, please hear me now.
Before we get to our concluding song and, of course, our mourners Kaddish, just a few announcements. First, I want to thank again Lee and Rhonda Weisberg for sponsoring the Oneg in honor of your 75th birthday, and to Paula and Sharma for sponsoring the Oneg in honor of Jeffrey's and Annalee's upcoming wedding. If you have a big simcha or an event that you'd like to share with us, we're always happy for you to be our sponsor, so just call us at the office and we'll take care of that. There is still a few seats available for next week's Shabbat dinner. I believe we're having Moroccan chicken and some couscous, and I think, yeah, that's good. Oh, delicious. It's not like Saeed bakes pitas on the fire, but it's good enough. Please RSVP to the Temple office by January 4th. And if you are interested in joining the fight against anti-Semitism, join me on Monday, January 9th at 4 p.m. We are beginning our task force of Kulanu that will create and plan a few events to help educate our community against and about anti-Semitism. And of course, if you have not sent in your tickets for the concert, please do so. We're already over 300 tickets. In the lower area of the Benjamin, there are 400 seats. Afterwards, we start seating you up. So there's another 100 good seats. I mean, the seats above 400, they're also good, don't they? But you want to be in the lower part. So please send in your tickets. We are 6 weeks out, and it's going to be an amazing, fabulous event on February 13th, Erev St. Valentine's Day. Yep. It's a concert about love, and we always finish or conclude our service with a moment of love, but of love that is not a physical love, but rather a spiritual love, a love that for people that we cannot hug and we cannot kiss and we cannot tell them that we love them, but we can honor the memory by acknowledging the beauty of their lives through saying the Kaddish. And so if you are a mourner and the name of your loved one is read, or you're observing Yartzeit and the name of your loved one is read, we invite you to stand when you hear their name so that we can offer you that love that you seek so much today. As a congregation, we remember the recent loss of Ellen Burke, sister of Felicia Goldberg, of Michael Efron, brother of Ira, of Rosalie Fox, our congregant and friend, of David Kentoff, husband of Roseanne Kentoff, of Lawrence Larry Magenheim, husband of Suzanne, of Harold Mogul, father of Anita Reed, of Harvey Reutman, companion of Marcia Pancapuano, and of Richard Sussel, husband of Carolyn. We also remember those who passed at this time in seasons past: Evelyn Beers, Jacob Ben Butze, Blaise Bernstein, Philip Lesnak, Harry Brody, Susan Cohen, Anna Dannenberg, Hortensia Diaz, Harry Robert Dorman, Jerome Feinstein, Beatrice Feldman, Gertrude Feindling, Raymond Fox, Elizabeth Frank, Rose Freeman, Lawrence Friedland, Haida Friedman, Cheryl Gelfand, Robert Glasser, Bretha Goodman, Amy Gorman, Sally Gross, Marcia Jaffe, Ellie Kramer, Leo Labron, Morris Leventhal, Edward David Levy, Harold Levy, Cindy Lipman, Jane Lund, Sheila Magrath, Toby Mazur, Carol Milton Raff, Lee Millman, Marvin Middledorf, Sol Pennick, Gershon Richmond, Nathan Rezenko, Leslie Yaari Schlesinger, Martin Shapiro, Ruth Simpson, Burton Sims, Donald Sorko, Gertrude Sperber, Ben Steinberg, Pearl Stone, Abraham Schmuckler, Marion Toffel, present, William Uberall, Irvin Weisberg, Ray Woolman, and Sidney Yaffe. If I've mispronounced the name, I apologize. If there are other names to add, please stand and add names as my eyes cross yours.
Leslie Rogers.
And we ask the entire congregation, if you can, to please stand in support of those mourning. The mourners' Kaddish is found on page 294. Itkadal v'itkada shemei Rabbah בעלמא דברך רעותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. May the one who creates harmony and high bring peace to us, to all of Israel, to all of humankind, to which we say amen. And I have to tell you, as someone who grew up with the peace treaty with Egypt, it's always so thrilling to be able to cross the border to Egypt and to have Egyptian soldiers greet you with a smile and with a marhaba and ahlan and kif halik, and the idea that peace is possible. So let's continue to believe in peace, even if it doesn't always come out exactly as we want. We do believe in peace, and we believe in this idea of joyous Judaism that inspires action. Ivdu et Hashem besimcha. Let's bring all the joy we can to create a better world, a better community, but it all begins with creating a better self. Ivdu. 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 Et Adonai besimcha. Ivdu, ivdu. Et Adonai besimcha. Bo'u, bo'u lefanav. Bo'u, bo'u lefanav. Bo'u, bo'u lefanav. Birnanana, birnanana. Birna na na na, birna na na, birna na na, birna na na na, birna na na na, birna na na, birna na na na, birna na na, birna. Please join us for the oneg. We have so much food, and make sure to say hello to someone you don't know there. Shabbat Shalom.